A remote tribal village in Odisha, where even basic amenities remain out of reach, is now at the center of one of India's deadliest industrial disasters involving migrant workers. The 21st June gas leak at a seafood processing unit in Tamil Nadu's Tiruvallur district has claimed 15 lives. 12 of those who died were women from Odisha's Keonjhar district. Two of them belong to a tiny tribal hamlet called Rangamatia, a village of just 200 people that has now lost daughters, sisters, and breadwinners. Nearly 1500 kilometers separate Rangamatia village in Odisha's Keonjhar from the seafood processing factory in Tamil Nadu where the gas leak occurred. The Indian Express correspondent Sujit Bisoyi's ground report unpacks the impact of the gas leak tragedy and puts a spotlight on poverty, migration networks, lack of education and employment opportunities, and an ongoing probe into whether the workers migrated voluntarily or were lured.
What we learned from the families that lack of employment opportunity and lack of skills and extreme poverty made it a fertile ground for the labor contractors who come to this village or who use the local experienced local individuals from these areas to bring more people from these localities. We are talking about Rangamatia, but the scenario is almost same for almost all the tribal villages in the nearby locality. As per the officials of labor department, they have no official record about migration, exact number of migration from the district. But why the this village like Rangamatia are fertile ground is because the young men and women are ready to work at a major salary of around 8,000 a month, while those who have some gained some experience are getting around 12,000 per month.
Among those killed was 16-year-old Jamini Juanga. Jamini was one of the 15 workers killed in the June 21st gas leak. 12 of those who died were from Odisha, all belonging to Keonjhar district, and every one of them was a woman. Two victims, Jamini Juanga and Gumani Juanga, were from the hamlet Rangamatia. Of the 68 workers hospitalized after the incident, 65 are women, 5 remain on ventilator support, and all of those 5 belong to this hamlet Rangamatia. The village, home to just over 200 people, had at least 18 residents working at the seafood processing unit, 10 women and 8 men, making the gas leak one of the most devastating incidents in its history.
Rangamatia, a small tribal hamlet in Odisha's Keonjhar district, and Rangamatia is the home to the Juango tribe, which is one of the 13 particularly vulnerable tribal group or the PVTG in Odisha. The village is located in a hilly terrain, and as per 2011 census, the village has some 38 odd households with total population of 158. The number of household is almost same, but the population has slightly increased to over 200. The village or the tribal hamlet, it lacks basic infrastructure like an all-weather road, piped drinking water, electricity. It has an Anganwadi center and a school, but most of the students, especially the girls, they have to drop out. They have to stop their education after class 5 because the nearest school for higher education, the students have to travel around 8 to 10 kilometer, which is not affordable for most of the households, what they said. To meet the daily drinking water need, the villagers, they depend on a natural spring. The villagers don't have their agricultural land as they clear patches on the forest to take up cultivation. There was no connectivity like a good road. Till last year, there was no mobile network, but a year ago, BSNL has set up one of its tower providing teleconnectivity to the village. Uh, the nearest motorable road is around 1 kilometer away, but that lies beyond a forest. The people have to cross a forest to travel on the motorable road.
Jamini had studied until class 5 before leaving for Tamil Nadu more than 7 months ago. She was also the first member of her family to leave Keonjhar district in search of employment. Her family says they had almost no contact with her after she left. Her father, Bisuni Juanga, owns 2 goats and lives in a mud house divided into 2 small enclosures.
आपणो नाट आ गया
विष्णु जुआंग को
ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଝିଅ କେବେ ଯାଇଥିଲେ ତାମିଲନାଡୁ?
ନଭେମ୍ବର ମାସରେ ଆଉ କାଳୀ ପୂଜା ପରେ ଆଉ
ଆଚ୍ଛା, ପ୍ରଥମ ଥର ପାଇଁ ଗଲେ। ଆଉ କ'ଣ କେତେ ମାନେ ବୟସ କେତେ ହେଇଥିଲା ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଝିଅ?
16 ବର୍ଷ।
ଆଚ୍ଛା, କ'ଣ ପାଇଁ ଗଲେ ଏତେ ଦୂର କାମ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଯେ ଗଲେ?
ଆଉ ଖାଇବାକୁ ଘରେ ମିଳୁନି ନା, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ବାହାରକୁ ଗଲା ଯେଟା ଆଉ।
ଆଚ୍ଛା, ଏଠି କିଛି କାମ ଦାମ କିଛି ନାହିଁ?
କାମ ମିଳିଲା ଯେ ଝିଅମାନେ ଏଠି ଟୋଟାଲ କାମ ନାହିଁ। ପୁରା ପାହାଡ଼ ଏରିଆ ଆଉ କିରା କରିବା, ଖାଇବାକୁ କିଛି ମିଳିଲାନି, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ବାହାରକୁ ଗଲା।
ମୁଣ୍ଡକୁ ତେଲ ନାହିଁ
ପୁରା
ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ସେଠୁ ପଇସା ପତ୍ର କିଛି ପଠଉଥିଲେ ଆପଣଙ୍କ ଝିଅ ସେଠୁ?
ନାଇଁ, ସେ ପଇସା ପଠାଇ ନାହାନ୍ତି ଯେ ସେ ତାଙ୍କର ଡ୍ରେସ୍ ପତ୍ର କିଣିକିରି ସିଆଡ଼େ ରଖିଲେ ଆଉ ଇଆଡ଼େ ପଇସା ପତ୍ର ପଠାଇଲେ।
ଏଇ ଘଟଣା ହେଲା ପରେ ସରକାରୀ ସହାୟତା କିଛି ପାଇଲେଣି?
କାହିଁ ଆଉ
3000 ଟଙ୍କା ଦେଇକି
ସେଠୁ ଯାହା
3000 ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି।
Without farmland, families in the village cultivate small patches of cleared forest land and depend heavily on forest produce for survival.
As we discuss, lack of adequate employment opportunity and lack of skill among the youths in the village make it a very fertile ground for the labor contractors to exploit these young men and women from the village who lure them with better income, better wages and better life, and they facilitate their migration to far places in Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. So in Rangamatia, what we learned that the unmarried young girls and boys are among those who migrate to these southern districts to work in especially in seafood units and plywood industry and in other units. After marriage, mostly the women stays in their villages while the men are those migrating to far off places. And the labor department in Keonjhar has no official record about their migration, which is a cause of concern.
The second victim from the village was Gumani Juanga. She travelled to Tamil Nadu in November last year after being promised work at a seafood processing unit. Her family says Gumani remained in regular contact and had spoken to them just hours before the gas leak. She reportedly told them she had saved some money and planned to return home soon. After the incident, the family received confirmation of Gumani's death.
ବିରଜ ଆଜ୍ଞା ମୁଁ ଛୁଆଟା ନଷ୍ଟ ହେଇଯାଇଛି ଏଠି ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରର ନା ତାମିଲନାଡୁ ତ ଗ୍ୟାସ୍ ହେଇକିରି ମୋ ଘରର ହେଉଛି ରଙ୍ଗମାଟିଆ ଗ୍ରାମ ରଙ୍ଗମାଟିଆ ଆଜ୍ଞା।
କେବେ ଯାଇଥିଲେ ଝିଅ?
ଏଇ ଯୋଉ କାଳୀ ପୂଜା ବାସି ଦିନ ଆଜ୍ଞା, ନଭେମ୍ବର ମାସ। ତ ସେ ଟଙ୍କା ପଇସା କିଛି ପାଇପାରି ନଥିଲେ ଆଉ କିଛି ବି ପାଇପାରିଲେ ନାହିଁ। ଛୁଆଟା ମୋର ବାହାଘର କରିବା ପାଇଁ ନିଷ୍ପତ୍ତି ହେଇଯାଇଥିଲା। ଜଣେ ଠିକାଦାର ନେଇକିରି ଯାଇଥିଲା, ତା ନାଁ ହେଉଛି ଶ୍ରୀକାନ୍ତ ଜୁଆଙ୍ଗ, ଆମ ଗାଁରେ ନି ନାଙ୍ଗଡୁ ସାହୁ ତାର ବାପ। ତ ପଇସା ଖାଇ ଦେଇଛି ଆଜ୍ଞା, ଭିତରେ କଣି କନ୍ଦ କରିକିରି ସେ ଛୁଆମାନଙ୍କୁ ନେଇଯାଇଛି। ନେଲା ପରେ ଆଜ୍ଞା ସେ ଦୁର୍ଘଟଣା ଘଟି ଯାଇଛି। ଆମେ ମନା କରୁଥିଲୁ ଛୁଆଟାକୁ ଆଜ୍ଞା।
ଆପଣ ପୁଅ ବି କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ସେଠି?
ପୁଅ ବି କାମ କରୁଛି, ପୁଅ ବି ଯାଇଥିଲା ବୋଲି ତା ଭଉଣୀକି ଚିକିତ୍ସା କରିକିରି ଫୁଟାଇ ଦେଇଛି। କାଲି ସୁଦ୍ଧା ପହଞ୍ଚିଛି ପୁଅ 3ଟା ବେଳକୁ, ରାତି 3ଟା ବେଳକୁ ବି ପହଞ୍ଚି ଯାଇଛି ପୁଅ।
ଆପଣ କ'ଣ କରନ୍ତି କାମ ଦାମ?
ଚାଷ ବାସ ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଆପଣ ଜମି ଅଛି ନା
ଜମି ନାହିଁ ଆଜ୍ଞା ଜମି ମୁଳୁରୁ ନାହିଁ ଆଜ୍ଞା ଜମି ଆମର ତଇଲା ଚାଷ ଟିକେ 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 କରୁଥିଲୁ
ହଁ କୁହନ୍ତୁ କୁହନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ କୁହନ୍ତୁ।
ଆଉ ତଇଲା ଟିକେ ଚାଷ କରୁଥିଲୁ ଯାଇକିରି ପିଠା ଗୁଡା ଯାଇକିରି କଟିକିରି ମୂଲ ଆତି କରିକିରି ଚଳୁଥିଲୁ ଆଜ୍ଞା। ଆଉ ଏବେ ଏଠି ତ ଦେଖୁ ତ ରଙ୍ଗମାଟିଆ ଜାଗାରେ କିଏ ଆଉ କିଛି ନାହିଁ ଆଜ୍ଞା ଆମେ ଯାଇକିରି ତୁଳିକି ମାଳକୁ ଯାଇକିରି ଆଜ୍ଞା କଟୁଥିଲୁ ଆଜ୍ଞା।
So after the recent gas leak incident in a Tamil Nadu factory, the state government has sent one of its officers team who stayed there for around a week to oversee that best possible treatment is given to those injured while ensuring that bodies of those died from Keonjhar are being brought back to Odisha. After those formalities, now the state government also facilitated return of at least 58 workers from Tamil Nadu, those who were working in that particular seafood processing unit.
The state government established the Juanga Development Agency way back in 1978 to improve livelihoods, agriculture, habitat rights and basic facilities for the community across Keonjhar, Jaipur and Dhenkanal districts.
Way back in 1978, the state government has launched the Juanga Development Authority for upliftment of the Juanga tribes residing in Keonjhar and nearby district. But when we spoke to the community leaders and officials, local officials and villagers, they said most of the plans, most of the schemes taken up by the Juanga Development Authority, it was launched basically to provide livelihood opportunities to the Juanga tribes and to help them to increase their income. But what we learned that most of the plans exists in pen and paper, while hardly anything has been implemented on the ground, and there has been hardly any development or improvement or upliftment in the life of the Juanga tribes in Rangamatia.
The workers from Rangamatia had travelled to Tamil Nadu after Kali Puja in November last year. Their families say they had been promised they would return home in time for Raja, which is coastal Odisha's annual agrarian festival. The festival came and went in mid-June, but these people never returned. Among those still battling for life is 20-year-old Ayla Juanga, who migrated so that her two younger brothers could continue their education after she herself left school following class 5.
ଆପଣଙ୍କ ନାଁଟା?
तेरा जुआंगो
ହଁ
ଆମ ଝିଅଟା ଗଲା ଚେନ୍ନାଇ
ହଁ
ଛୁଆଟାକୁ ଭାଇଟାକୁ ଦୁଇଟା ଆମର ଭାଇ କେମିତି ପାଠ ପଢ଼ାଇବି କେମିତି ନାହିଁ କେମିତି ପାଠ ପଢ଼ିବେ ମୁଁ ତ ରହିଲି ମୂର୍ଖ ଭାଇଟା ହେଲେ ଦୁଇଟା ଯାକେ ପାଠ ପଢ଼ନ୍ତୁ କହିକିରି ଗଲା ଝିଅଟା।
ଆଜ୍ଞା କେତେ ଦିନ ହେଲା ଯାଇଛନ୍ତି?
ଏଇ ମାସକୁ 4 ମାସ ହେବ।
ପଇସା ପଠଉଥିଲେ?
କାହିଁ ଆଉ ମାସକୁ ପଠାଉଥିଲା ଆଉ ତ ନାହିଁ।
ଗୋଟେ ମାସ ହିଁ ପଠେଇଛନ୍ତି? ଆଚ୍ଛା 5,000?
ହଁ 5,000 ନା କେତେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି କେଜାଣେ।
ଆଚ୍ଛା
ଟିକେ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରିବ ଝିଅଟାକୁ ଆଉ ଛୁଆଟାକୁ କେମିତି ଆସିବ ଘରକୁ କେମିତି ନାହିଁ କେ ବ୍ୟବସ୍ଥା କରିବ।
For Rangamatia, this tragedy is no longer just about factory accident nearly 1,500 kilometers away. It has exposed the realities of migration from one of Odisha's most vulnerable tribal communities, where limited education, scarce employment opportunities, and poor infrastructure continue to push young people out in the search of work.